Start recording now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our welcome back parent meeting for San Dimas High School and Lone Hill Middle School. I'm the director, Mr. Pugh, and I'm here to just kind of help y'all figure out kind of some of the beginning of year stuff that we're going to be talking about. So let's go over our agenda. I want to be respectful of everyone's time, also because I have uh, no idea how much longer I have before she starts crying. So I'm letting mom rest for a little bit. So thank you for your flexibility of moving to a virtual space. Um, I think, especially as a new father, I am so thankful that Zoom is a thing now because, man, this is really handy. So today we're going to be talking about just a few things: concert attire, the concert day schedule, choir departmental apparel, some important dates for the year, volunteer chaperone. Oh, no, volunteer chaperone requirements, San Dimas Choir Baseball Night, and Lone Hill Choir Tour and San Dimas Choir Tour. So, all of this meeting agenda, all of these slides are going to be made available to you, as well as a recording of this meeting. So, you can take notes if you need to, but it's going to be a lot of information that you can kind of revisit and review as need be. So, let's kind of get started. First, we're going to talk about the Lone Hill concert wardrobe. So, Lone Hill Treble Choir um, has basically well, for all of our choirs, we have what I like to call the dress and suit option. For Lone Hill Treble, it's a little different because we don't have an actual uniform that we get for the students. Instead, we let them, they're first starting off with performing, so we try to make them feel a little more comfortable and wear clothing that they want to choose. So we have the ability for them to wear black and white dress or skirts and black closed-toed shoes. It's really important that we have closed-toed shoes because we're in a theater at the BCA, and there's lots of places that toes like to get caught, as it were. So it's also modeling for our students of how they would be expected to dress as a professional someday. And so really making sure that it's not sneakers, not boots, but instead something like a ballet flat or something, or character shoes. Those they have them at Target, just those black flat kind of shoes, with the little closed-toed. They're pretty cheap. They don't have to be super expensive, I would say, especially at this age, considering how much they grow out of them. But we do want them to, look nice and to feel good about what they're wearing. For Lone Hill Treble, we also have the tie option. So typically, girls are wearing dresses, boys wear ties, but I just want folks to, feel comfortable and look good with what they're wearing. So we have the tie option, which is black dress slacks, black dress shoes, a white collared long sleeve shirt. And then seventh and eighth graders, choraleros, and encore will be given a black tie to wear. Now, if you need a white dress shirt, you can go to friartux.com. You can go to Macy's. You can go wherever white button-up t-shirts are sold. I'm not particular, but they do need to have a nice collar um, on them. So that's that. For choraleros, some of you might have noticed we already sent home a dress with your student. So that is called the chorale dress. Uh, it's just the name of the style. It's not because it's tied to the chorale class. Just don't get confused. It is a little confusing though. But it's a black satin floor length dress. And students need to have nylons and again, those black closed toed shoes. They can wear flats or heels that are 2 inches or less. And I have given many of the dresses to your students. The way that it works is that essentially the dresses are $75, I believe. And I give them out like it's a textbook. So the students get the dress at the beginning of the year. When it comes time to the end of the year, they return it. We assess the condition. And so long as the condition is good, if I can give it back out again, or like if, all of the dresses were good enough for me to pass out. So if they come back and they're like, torn apart or whatever, then it's like, okay, well, it's like you ruined a textbook. So it's like, it's like $75. So it's not too crazy. And we're really excited that we have such a good deal on these dresses because they really have been great for our program. So that is our Lone Hill concert wardrobe. Before I go to the San Dimas one, this is just an example of what we're looking at for the Lone Hill treble choir. So if you have a sixth grader, this is the kind of clothes you'll be looking to have. So you notice folks are in white dresses or, black dresses, white tops, black tops, and the gentlemen are wearing a white button-up shirt with black pants. You'll notice a lot of these are still wearing tennis shoes. This was because this was picture day, not a concert day. So on the picture day, they were goofy goofballs, but on the concert day and picture day, hopefully, make sure they're wearing those black dress shoes. We're going to come back around for questions here in a second, but let's move on to the San Dimas wardrobe. So the San Dimas wardrobe is kind of similar. There's a suit and a dress option. So the suit option is basically the same thing, but with a sport coat. So black dress pants, black sports coat, black dress shoes, black collared long sleeve dress. Now, it's a black long sleeve dress shirt. No pattern. We don't want a pattern. No pinstripes, no little tiny like twinkles or whatever, just a plain black shirt. Um, Singers will be given a blue tie from me. Now, if you're looking for local suit options, there's a Friar Tuck's in, I believe, Montclair as well as Covina. So if you're wanting to kind of figure that out, but again, if you have a proprietor of suits, you want to go to Macy's, if you want to go thrift shopping, whatever you want to do, I would recommend kind of getting started on that soon, just in case you need to have it tailored. Our first concert is not until October, but it's always good to get started early. For the high school, for San Dimas, we have our dresses. It's called the Sophia dress. It's a black satin floor length dress, similar to the middle school, but a little classier, a little different style. But again, black closed-toed shoes, flats or heels that are 2 inches or less. And the cost to replace that dress is actually only $65. So again, I hand it out at the beginning of the year. I trust them with it, and if it comes back and it's too damaged to lend back out again, then we assess the fee. So that's basically our concert attire. Um, do I have any questions? Drop them in the chat right now. Just kind of type them out or raise your hand if you have any questions about our concert clothes. Concert clothes. Oh, you're squirming. We'll use Charlotte in the meanwhile if we see if there's any questions. I'm not seeing any. Are you? No, you're not. You're asleep. All right. Not seeing any questions. Let's move on to the next thing. So, concert day schedule. For the nylons, oh, finally they come in. For the nylons, do they have to be opaque or sheer? Either is fine. We just want them to be just, make sure that they're looking nice. It's again us kind of teaching them how to dress in this more dressed up style. Dry clean on the dresses. You can dry clean the dresses. I believe some of them are able to be machine washed, but I actually don't know that off the top of my head. There's You can check kind of on the tag, I believe. If not, shoot me an email and we can figure that out. Sleeves on dresses for sixth graders. Yeah, I mean, not really. I don't really mind either way. It does get cold in there, so I would say like make sure it's not like spaghetti straps or something because they might get chilly. But like, just sort of looking nice and if they are wearing spaghetti strap, maybe like have a like a top that kind of covers the top or something to make them feel a little more warm. And then the shoes, my son is picky. Me too. Oh, do they have to be dress shoes? Yes, they do have to be dress shoes. Um, this is one of those opportunities for, there's a lot of things in this program that are kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Growth opportunities for our students. And one of the things is like, I understand, having been a middle school teacher now for God, 13 years, I get that they really like their comfort and they really like their tennis shoes. But this is one of those times in their life, especially in middle school and high school, where we're trying to teach them sort of how to dress up and how to put on that, like, if they're going for a job interview someday or a college interview or something like that, we want them to know how to dress up and how to look a little fancier. So I would say dress shoes, you can get comfier dress shoes these days with little inserts. But yeah, as far as patent leather or matte, I think that's like the shiny kind. We don't really need the shiny kind. I wear matte. Most of the students wear matte. So no need to wear like tuck shoes because we're not wearing tuxedos. Okay. Great questions. I do love these questions. These are great ones. Uh, If you have any more, drop them in the chat. I'm going to move on here to talk about our concert day schedule. So our first concert's October 10th. In the mornings, I take the high schoolers over from uh, the BCA. What is BCA? That's the Bonita Center for the Arts. That is our concert hall right between the middle school and the high school. It's that big red looking building between the two schools, and it's where we perform all of our concerts. So October 10th, in the morning, I rehearse with the high schoolers in the theater, and then in the afternoon, I rehearse with the middle schoolers. Typically, we've done it from 1:30 to 3:30. However, we do have a new third class at the middle school. So the schedule might shift up to be 12:30 to 3:30. It just sort of depends on kind of how um, the schedule works out, and I'll let everyone know with a lot of head time to make adjustments. But it's during the school day that we do their rehearsal. It's not outside of school hours, it's during the school day. However, I will be needing volunteers. So if you're somebody who has maybe afternoons off or you're looking to volunteer, we do need parental volunteers to help out in these instances. And we're going to come back around to what that volunteer truly means in just a little bit. Um, Before the concert, students are backstage dressed and ready to go 1 hour before. Not 59 minutes, not 55 minutes, not pulling into the parking lot at 6 o'clock. They need to be on stage, dressed and ready to sing at 6 p.m. Now, um, one of the adages that, especially when they get to high school, is that if you're uh, early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late. So again, we're trying to teach these students this idea of professionalism and making sure that if they're supposed to be at an event at 6 p.m., that you know you're parking in the parking lot at 5:45, maybe going to the bathroom, making sure you know where you're going, not too rushed, and all those sort of things. The performance begins at 7 p.m. That hour gives us time to check in with the students, make sure everyone's there, do some warm-ups, and then for you as an audience, the house, which is where you go sit, typically opens around 6:30, and then the concerts start at 7. Our concerts usually last about an hour to hour and 30. I would say maybe towards that higher side only because we now have another group. But we're very cognizant of time. It flows very quickly. And so not a problem with those concert day schedules. So that's all for our concerts and our concert attire. We're now going to move on to the choir apparel. These are our shirts for the year, our shirts and sweaters. I kind of wanted them to look a little similar this year so we could kind of all feel like one big family. Now, the t-shirts are for all students. We want all students to have the choir t-shirt because, again, it shows that they're part of the team. They're part of this whole choir family. And our plan is to have them wear these clothes throughout the year for like our concert days as like a spirit wear. So they'll be wearing them on spirit days, like for club rush days, all these sort of things to like, help show that they're a part of that choir family. Um, the sweaters are just extra. You don't need to have the sweater. They're fun, they're soft on the inside, but it's not necessary. So the t-shirts are $20. You can order them in the ASB student stores at both campuses. So Lone Hill has a student store, San Dimas has a student store that we can get all of these things sent to you. We're doing one big order with them. So they're not actually already made yet. We take all of the orders in, and my hope is like once I get everyone's sizes and get everything sorted out and get the payments, then we can go and place the order usually around early next week. So my cutoff has been for Friday, so I can place the order next week because I got to sort through everything. If you want to get a combo, $50 t-shirt sweater, what a deal. If you want to buy multiples, absolutely. By all means, buy as many as you like. Write in your student's name, and I'll just give your student when they arrive all of the stuff they've ordered. The orders are due by August 29th, and and away they go. Um, just answering some questions. Is there a place where we can get this PowerPoint? It'll be sent out at the end of the meeting. Um, is there a place we can get this? Or yeah, do parent volunteers need clearance? We're going to talk about clearance later in the meeting. Are they 100% cotton? Now that is a question that I am also curious. So give me 2 seconds to look that up because I'm unsure of the current makeup of these certs, but I'm pretty sure they're 100% cotton, which is good for me to know. I should know this. All right, pulling up. Yep, 100%. Yep, they're both 100% cotton. Boom, boom, boom. I gotta find where my tabs all went. Okay. So they are 100% cotton. Never you worry. We got you all sorted out. All right. Um, so I had a few people that said there were some issues with the drop-down links for the sizes. And I think it was because there were two drop-downs for the different things for like a t-shirt and for the sweater. Now, I have talked with the ASB. They've told me that it's been fixed. This was all at the middle school level. Um, but but from what I've heard, it's all sorted out now. So give it a shot again and see what you can do. Um, as far as exchanges, it's a little tricky because again, we're doing the custom order. We can do them in small batches, not too crazy. Um, but like, if it's egregious, like absolutely we can take care of it. And then last, can we wear jewelry for the concert? I prefer not, mostly because jewelry usually catches the light or distracts from everything else. So if it's something that is incredibly, immensely personal or religious and has to be worn, then yes. Otherwise, just leave it off. Problem is, we get too sparkly of earrings, and all of a sudden, you're blinding grandma in the third row with the spotlights hitting you, and it gets really tricky. So let's kind of now dive into the year. So we've gone through concert apparels, and now let's talk about kind of the year. Now, all of this right here is the semester one for all of the choirs. Now I'm showing you this screen just because it's all there. 90% of it is fine, it won't change. But I want to direct you to where you should actually be going. We have sandemaschoir.com. On sandemaschoir.com, you can actually open up our calendar here in the top, and it will allow you to view the most up-to-date version of our calendar. This is our Google Calendar where everything lives. This is where I even go to make sure I know where I'm supposed to be. It has everything on there. It has all of the stuff listed. You can click up and look at like the different details if you want, but it's all listed for your planning purposes. And if you have an issue with it, you can just mute it away. But you can subscribe here or here. This is the place I recommend the most for people to go because it really is the best way to get that information. But let's talk about kind of what we're looking at here. While I get a quick drink of water. Throughout the year, we have these choir bingo nights for San Dimas students. This is an opportunity for San Dimas parents to fundraise for their trips. So we have a bingo committee that is a San Dimas High School committee that meets in the Lone Hill multipurpose room. And you're able to volunteer and receive $200 for your student by volunteering and helping out the committee run bingo. We have 3 dates throughout the year. We occasionally receive more, but this is a great way for San Dimas students to fundraise. Lone Hill, we do not have access to this right now. I'm so sorry, but once you get to San Dimas, you sure can. We have a San Dimas coffee house coming up potentially on September 17th. This is tentative. Our choir council really wants to put together this concert. It'll be just a small solo only concert. It's not for all of the students. It's just like a little open mic night sort of thing they want to host. We're having a Hawaii parent meeting for those specific parents who signed up for the Hawaii meeting, where our tour, I was going to say tour guard, that's not true, tour planner, Lynn Dan will be there. If you remember Lynn Dan, she helped plan our Central Coast tour as well as our New York tour. And they're helping us with our Hawaii meeting, with our Hawaii trip as well, which is just going to be so exciting. We're going to talk about it later in the meeting here. We have our Angel baseball game, which is September 26th. That is for San Dimas students. However, Lone Hill folks, if you want to come out and support, you sure as heck can. We won't turn you away. Um, Quartet Festival is for a select group of students from San Dimas who we've already picked for that event. The fall concert again, October 10th. Lone Hill, Encore, and Corollaire. So that's period 5 and 6 have a festival they're going to be participating in during the school day. Um, that's just a field trip. Uh, Chamber has a field trip on the 15th. There's the homecoming parade, which San Dimas Choir has a float in. If you have a cool car, send me a message. We had a cool car for many years that that parent had their student finally graduate, and we're on the hunt for a new cool car. So if you got one, let me know. I have a Subaru Outback. Apparently, it's not very cool. So Subaru Outback is out. If you have something cooler, let me know. Um, there's another Cal State Fullerton Festival in October. There's a Chamber Festival that we host at our school that Chamber runs for themselves. And then we have Picture Day in end of October. So we're going to make sure that the students have gotten all their dresses together by the fall concert, and then we take pictures there later in October. I have the choir, Lone Hill Pictures twice. San Dimas Treble Choir has a little festival field trip. Chamber Choir typically performs for the Veterans Day event. What do you know? You don't like that? I know, I'm going to be busy. And then we have some honor choirs coming up. Again, another choir bingo in November, and then the winter concert, and the chamber has a caroling gig. Um, and then we have another coffee house in the spring. There's some more festivals in the spring. March and April is where things get very, very crunchy. So if you look at everything with the number three on it. So our spring concert is actually on a Monday. Then that Wednesday, our treble or the bel canto at the high school has a competition. The Thursday, our chamber choir has a competition. They have another competition the following week. We go on Hawaii, go to Hawaii the last couple days before spring break. We come back from spring break, and then Corollaires go on their San Diego tour. We have an honor choir that the Lone Hill students are able to audition for. We'll have more details about that later in the year. We have a potential Knots Festival. San Dimas might be doing a competition later on in the semester. It might also be Lone Hill. I don't know yet. We're trying to figure it out with admin. Our Pops concert is May 15th. We have then the San Dimas SD Rocks concert, which is a huge rock concert at the end of the year. And then graduation. While you soak in the semester two, I'm going to drop baby off for a minute because she is getting a little fussy. I'll be right back. Take a look at that. Good. Yeah. All right. So that's the whole calendar. It's a lot, I know, but trust me, you will receive ample notification of all these things. But also, you should make sure that you are staying up on it. I saw some questions about whether or not you can subscribe to it in Apple Calendar. Yes, it's on my phone, it's on my iPad. It's totally subscribable. Um, the time frame that you need to be available for the bingo. Bingo typically runs from, I believe it's about 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. It's a long shift, but they do pay $200 per adult volunteer. There's a lot of criteria that I'll be sending out to the San Dimas folks because we have our first bingo night coming up in about 2 weeks. So we'll make sure that that is something that we have set up for you guys. So the baseball game, does the student need a ticket to, or only if the parents are attending and the student will stay with them after the performance? So we need the student to have a ticket because they need it to get into the stadium for us for the performance. So every butt needs a 2:30 to 9 p.m. Thank you so much for clarifying that. So basically, every butt needs a ticket. If you're wanting to watch the game with your student, if you're like, sorry, I'm trying to get comfy again, if you're wanting to watch the game with your student and have a family fun night with it, we're using it as a bit of a fundraiser. They're selling us the tickets, and we're doing a slight markup of, I think, $3 a ticket. So if you could, please don't buy them through the Major League Baseball app or through Angels. Buy them through us because it helps our program fund this big Hawaii tour that we're trying to do right now. 1957 Chevy Bel Air. Yes, Richard. Send me a pic in my emails. Let's get talking. Um, the Knott's Festival. Is it tentative or set in stone? It is tentative. It is not set in stone. I'm in discussions with admin because we're trying to figure out where it fits with AP testing and state testing, um, and also when they're actually being held. So that's where we're at. If you do end up signing up for bingo, yes, you'll be told where to go, what to do. I have a whole email that's sent out to you if you end up being one of those people. All right, let's move on from the the calendar now to talk a little bit about volunteer and chaperone requirements. So you're looking at some of this and you're saying, Mr. Pugh, this is really exciting. I really want to be a part of some of these events. Let's talk. So the way that it works is basically there are two separate things in our district. We have volunteers who only come in for the day, and then we have like chaperones. I think they call them something different though. But basically, if like you stay with students overnight, you have to have more clearance. So if you're somebody who is wanting to kind of volunteer for these events, you have to complete the district paperwork. So we have volunteers, they come and observe a class, or they come and help out and observe those concert rehearsals, like I was telling you about. You have to go through all of these procedures. We make sure that we do this so that your student is safe, so that I'm safe, so that we are vetting anybody who is on campus with these students. So you have to go through all of these things, and you can apply through that system. Now, if you're wanting to be, if you're wanting to go on these tours with us, um, you just have to make sure that I think it's also the same thing. Yeah, like a live scan for a volunteer. A visitor is someone who just comes in, and the volunteer is somebody who's like basically a chaperone. So the volunteer has more vetting because they're staying overnight potentially with students as they go on tour with us or what have you. So if you're just wanting to come and visit, you can just sign in, but the volunteer has to go through a volunteer application. They have to provide a TB test and fingerprint clearance. Volunteer doesn't. They can just show up with a state issued ID. It gets scanned at the front desk. They give you a little sticker for your shirt, and you can come and help us out. But if you're a volunteer, if you're wanting to go on a trip with us, you have to go through this more rigorous process. All right. So all of that is explained here. All of that's on that website with our district. Coming back to choir baseball night. So we're now getting to events. Um, and this is where I will start dismissing people here in a second. So before I dismiss you, though, our San Dimas Choir Baseball Night is super, super cool. We're playing the Astros, Angels versus Astros. It's our first field trip of the year. The way it works is all of our San Dimas students, we pile into a bus, we go down, we practice in the parking lot with a bunch of other choirs, and they just have a huge choir baseball night. So it's just a bunch of choir students there from a bunch of different schools. A lot of my friends bring their students from their schools, their music teachers, they bring them. If you want upper level, so we all students, if you want to buy field level for your student, you can. But if you're just having your kid come along, we buy the upper level tickets for your students. They're 20 bucks a piece. They need to have the t-shirt though, because we have to look uniform on the field. So all students need a t-shirt. They all need to have a ticket to get into the stadium. Now, if you want to buy premium level tickets with your kid, absolutely. I highly recommend it. Angel Stadium is great. Buy the $50 tickets, you're on the field level. It's also Angel Stadium, so you'll probably be able to kind of shift over other seats anyways. That's not me. You do you. Um, we all drive down in the bus, and then we, as a school, officially leave at the seventh inning stretch. We leave at that time so we can get the buses back in a timely fashion. If you want to stay with your student through the rest of the game, or have them stay with someone else that you have deemed responsible for your student, we will have private transportation releases available. This process of um, having a private transportation release will come into play a lot this year on our field trips. Essentially, I, as a school teacher, am required to provide transportation to and from a school sanctioned event. If you, as the parent guardian, wish to have them drive themselves or you wish to drive them back, you have to let me know via this form that you're opting out of that service. So that's why they have us do it. So the baseball game, we usually leave right after school gets out. So around 3:30, 3:45, or for me, 3:30, 3:45, because I'm at the middle school. But we get down there and we get back to to the school usually about 9 o'clock, 9:30 that night. Okay. Before I move on to the Lone Hill Corollaires and Hawaii tour information, I just want to give another opportunity for any questions. I'm getting ready to dismiss anybody who is in the Lone Hill Treble Choir. So that's any sixth grade parents. So if you made it this far, sixth grade parents, you got all the information you need. The next information is going to be for seventh and eighth graders, then high schoolers for our tours. So drop any questions in the chat you might have. Let's give them just a minute while I take a drink of water. All right. All right. Thank you, sixth grade parents, for coming and hanging out. We're so excited to have you. Looking forward to more wonderful musical memories that'll be made this year. And if you want to hang out and see what is in the future for your student, by all means, let's crack on. So, the choir baseball tickets can be purchased in the San Dimas ASB office. You can purchase them online. This link is live. You can go and purchase it. Boom, right down at the bottom. Choir baseball night right there. All right. And yes, Megan, email is the best way to reach me. Why is this not full screen? Okay, there we go. Lone Hill Corollaires, San Diego 2026. Y'all, it's happening. Um, this is such a fun trip. Our Lone Hill trip is coming up April 10th through 12th. We tour with the Lone Hill Band. We tour as a huge troupe. It's kind of amazing. We have like 4 or 5 charter buses full of middle schoolers with so much energy and a lot of chaperones who are just there to make sure we all have a good time. If you've been a chaperone on these trips, you know it's just so much fun. I mean that actually. There are a lot of energy, but it's a lot of fun. These trips are uh, the way I kind of view the students' progression through the program is these increasing levels of trust and responsibility. So when they were in elementary school, like you have to actively chaperone them all the time. You have to make sure that they're all being completely, fine at all times. These tours are a little more like a guarded garden. So when we go to San Diego, a lot of parents tend to freak out because they think I'm just letting their child run wild around San Diego. That is not the case. The way that these work is we have chaperones, yes, but the students are always in a buddy system. The students are working on how to interact in the broader world with their colleagues, with their fellow students and friends in these new situations. Like it's the point of these trips is yes to do the festival performance, yes it's to have these wonderful experiences, but it's also to give them the opportunity to grow those social skills of being on a trip, of going somewhere new and learning how to orient yourself and how to find things and how to take care of yourself. So that's part of the point of these trips is to build that autonomy and to build that responsibility. And on this trip, we got a lot of cool stuff. So we have an adjudicated performance. We get judged on our performance. We take our concert music and clothes with us. Uh, we perform for it. We get ranked and hopefully do well. Um, for me, it's never about the ranking or the trophy. It's about going and doing our best. And if we get a trophy, great. If we don't, great. I'll still do the trip next time because I still think it has value. Um, the cool things that we do while we're there, we go to Belmont Park. Belmont Park is this really cool little amusement park on the sea. It's in Mission Bay. It's really super cute. There's a roller coaster. It's like the quintessential boardwalk kind of amusement park almost, but not on a boardwalk. Um, we'll then also be going to SeaWorld the following day. So Friday, we go to Belmont Park. We go back to the hotel. We then go to SeaWorld the next day um, after our performance. So we perform and then we go to SeaWorld. On the third day, we have just a beach day. We go to the beach, we hang out. The kids just have a great time. We go to Mission Beach and just relax, like literally where that picture is. We just hang out on Mission Beach. Actually, I don't think that's where we go. No, but looks a lot like that. Um, And so that's basically the trip, and we come back home. We leave on a Friday, we come back on a Sunday. If you've done the San Francisco trip, it's not as intense. The San Francisco trip is intense because it's just so much more traveling and so much farther. So we add an extra day. The San Diego trip, you leave on a Friday, they're back Sunday night. It's fine. The estimated cost is still to be determined because I don't know how many students are going, and that changes a lot of the calculations. Our This trip is open to my fifth and sixth period classes, so all seventh and eighth graders that are in the program are able to go. And because of that, that's a huge class. That's like 85 kids. Like, so if everyone goes, that's two charter buses. That's, a lot of hotel rooms. Versus if, oh, only half of us can kind of go, or maybe two-thirds, like that changes the calculus of all the busing and stuff. What I can tell you is that in years past, the last time we took it was $550. Um, and so that's what it was. It's usually about $200 less than San Francisco. And last time we went to San Francisco was 750. So 550, maybe 600, maybe 650. I don't know what busing quotes we'll get. Busing is in a really weird situation these days. People are just giving crazy quotes. We fought really hard to get a good quote for our San Francisco trip, but it took a lot of fighting, and I still under budgeted the trip because the quote was like crazy. So we're coming into this year at Lone Hill, not as financially cushioned as we usually are. Um, because of just the crazy increase in busing costs. So this kind of brings me to one of my other points, which is financial assistance is available for students, but it's on a needed basis. The way that works is I'll usually ask what you can pay what you can. Um, but if I can't come up with enough money, like we have, like I can't. Um, this is the first year I've had to say that, mostly because of how much busing costs have increased. Um, but if you're willing to work with me, I can work with you. We have a financial aid document that I have available for Lone Hill students and parents for the parents that I'll be handing out at school if your student wants one, or if you want one, shoot me an email. But basically, it just lets me kind of know what the hardship is that you're facing, what can you pay, and then I get all of that information. The cutoff is in the middle of September. It's like September 20th. And then I have to look at our budget and see if I have room for that in our budget. Our only income really comes from concerts. And so it really just depends. And I have to kind of like see what the calculation looks like. But that's a whole bunch of stuff that you don't have to worry about for now. Just think about how much fun it is to have your student go to San Diego with a bunch of their friends. They do crash four to a room. So we put four kids in the room. It's fine. They have chaperones that check in with them at night before they go to bed. We tape the students in the room they know the expectation is set that they do not leave the room. We tape them in so we know if they leave or not. They do not leave. In the morning, we have the chaperones untape the doors, check in with the students. The chaperones are always available 24/7. If there's any emergency, I'm available. We get things taken care of. I've been doing these trips for longer than a decade, and we always manage to get everybody home safe and have a good time. So it is a-okay. The children do get to choose their four to a room as much as possible. There's some times where this room also wants that person, and this room also wants Susie in their room, and we have to kind of like finagle it. And sometimes, because of the amount of students we have an odd number. So one room is a room of three, and oh, which one is that going to be? I ask the students for input on who they're going to room with. I send those rooming lists out to the parents as well. You get input on the rooming list to make sure your student isn't randomly rooming with somebody you don't want them to room with. Um, but yeah, that's basically it. We need about 6 to 8 chaperones. I like to have a good chaperone ratio. The more the merrier, though. The cost for chaperones is the same as students, only because you're doing all the same things as the students. You're riding the same buses, you're staying in the hotel, we're getting SeaWorld tickets, we're getting Belmont Park tickets. So I can't give free rides to chaperones. But it's a really fun way to see your student interact with the world in a different way. And so if you're interested, you can actually start registering today. So this is our website again, sandimaschoir.com. You can check out this cute little image that I made. You can look at a sample itinerary. This was our itinerary from 2 years ago. We stayed in the Sheraton, Mission Valley. It's probably where we'll stay again. But it's all kind of, up in the air right now. We don't get to know that until later. Um, but it's all right here. It's super cute. Oh yeah, we also did a Seaport Village visit. I forgot to put that in there. So we do a little bit of Seaport Village on the Sunday, then go to Mission Beach and hang out on the way home. If you're wanting to register for the trip as either a chaperone or a student, you go to this link down here, theworldstrides.com register. You put in the trip ID, you put in the information for the student. If you want to put information as a chaperone, let me know first. I need to know if you want to be a chaperone. Don't just sign up. Let me know because I want to make sure that we have a good list of chaperones, a good diverse type of people, because I need male and female. So don't just sign up. Let me know if you want a chaperone so we can kind of talk about what that looks like. And then the initial deposit is due September 12th. They're not ready to accept it yet in the ASB Finance office. They'll be ready to accept those payments next week. Okay. Um, I love seeing people in the chat send me that they want a chaperone. Make sure you email me because I am not going to remember. Um, let's see if there's any other questions. Are there any other questions about this San Diego trip for our seventh and eighth graders? Let me see. Can we change the requested outfit? So someone's asking if they can change the dress. You are allowed to hem the dress. You can hem the dress, but make sure that it's a removable hem so that if someone else wants the dress in the future, they can remove it. The hem should be just so that if this is their feet, that it brushes against the top of their shoes. So just make sure that you don't super hem it up, but just leave it down on that. Okay. Um, I meant change it to a dress. Shoot me an email. I don't understand what you mean. And the hotel name, I covered that there. Perfect. All right. So seventh and eighth grade parents, you're free to go. If you have any questions, again, email me, j.pugh@bonita. Blah, 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 blah. Unless you want to see the future of what the other stuff is, seeing the future of Hawaii. Do we need to pay? I am unsure what you're asking about in the question. We have a little more time for questions here, and then we're going to move on to our Hawaii portion of the trip. Do chaperones, do chaperones need to pay? Do students need to pay? Yes. It is not a free ride, unfortunately. I'm trying to send a message to everybody, and it won't let me. Sorry, everybody. But I'll just show my email address. It's on the last slide here, j.pugh@bonita.k12.ca.us. And again, you're going to get this whole presentation, so don't you worry. It'll all be right there for you. Okay? All right. We're going to talk about Hawaii. Yay! Oh my goodness. All right. So if you've made it this far, you are a San Dimas choir person who is interested in our San Dimas Hawaii tour this year. So our tour is coming up March 27th through April 2nd. It's a heck of a deal. I know some people look at the cost and you think, oh my God, what are you talking about? Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So we are getting flights and ground transportation for the whole trip. Like literally, you drop your kid off at San Dimas High School and you pick them up at San Dimas High School. You don't have to drive to LAX. We don't have to Uber them around the island. We have buses on the island. We have a plane flying us over there nonstop. We are going to probably have to go through LAX because the Ontario pricing is just absolutely insane with Southwest. We can talk more about that with Lynn in September. She's still negotiating with the airlines. The last I chatted with her in August, no, I last chatted with her in July, right before the baby came, and she was like, I don't know what they're thinking about with these prices, so we'll see. Um, you get 6 nights in Waikiki. Actually, let me just pull up the dang itinerary. Why am I trying to do this off the top of my head? That's goofy, Mr. Pugh. Absolutely goofy. No, that's the back end of the website. Okay, so here we are, San Dimas Hawaii tour. and the itinerary. So this is tentative, but we have a morning flight to Honolulu. We check into the Hyatt Place Motel or motel in Waikiki. Um, we have dinner at the Kahuyo Food Mall. You get to explore Waikiki. My favorite thing about this trip's itinerary is we get the business out of the way early. So Saturday is our choral festival. So we're taking part in the Aloha State Choral Festival all day. There's a huge concert with a bunch of choirs that are participating and us at this beautiful church in Honolulu. And then the next day, Sunday, we're doing a Pearl Harbor visit. They get to see the USS Missouri, go through a Bowfin submarine, just do the Pacific Historic Parks Pearl Harbor audio tour, visit the USS Arizona Memorial. I will say, as a high schooler, I think I was a sophomore, and my high school did a trip to Hawaii. And I still think about going to Pearl Harbor and how much of an impact it had on me. It was just absolutely breathtaking. We have a Ka Moana Luau. So we have this fun luau dinner on that Sunday. We then do the Circle Island tour. So we're going to go all the way around, visit a couple different sites. I believe we're visiting like pineapple farms and such. Again, Lynn has more details on this because she is the one booking all these experiences. But it's like this huge circle tour. We go to the Polynesian Culture Center on the Tuesday. On the Wednesday, we hike Diamond Head and we go to the Kualoa Ranch Secret Island. Now, the way our tour guide described this to me is that it's essentially like a little secret island with just like kayaks and fun little areas to like play beach volleyball and just like hang out under a palm tree with like a coconut. So I was like, that sounds great. It's a good way for us to kind of relax at the end of the trip because Thursday we pack up and head home. So it's, 6 nights in Honolulu. Breakfast is included every single day, plus two dinners, three lunches, and all of those experiences um, are all taken care of. Now, the payment schedule will be customized, and the estimated cost currently is $2,450 per participant. That is for a four-person bedroom. If you're wanting to do, if you want your kid to only be in their own room, they have it available. It just costs more. Um, so I'm hoping to have some chaperones signed up. We already have, I think, about 30 people signed up for the trip. But if you want to sign up, you can absolutely sign up. The cost, the payment schedule is all taken care of through the Harmony Tours. So you can book the event, you can download a brochure about it, um, and it changes based on how much basically you're willing to spend. If you're two chaperones wanting to split a room with a friend of yours, you can have those different prices. But the student price currently is for 4 to 5 to a room. Um, and then we get a really good deal and discount on it. So again, this will all be available in the on the website. It's available here in this form. The cutoff for the trip to sign up is October 1st. So if you're on the fence, October 1st. If you are on the fence and you're like, maybe I jump in and jump back out, there are cancellation fees. So like just keep that in mind. Um, because we're making unrefundable deposits at hotels for some of these experiences that we're booking for the hotel or for the plane tickets. We can't always guarantee that we're going to get everything back because that money doesn't exist anymore. So October 1st is kind of the drop dead date of signing up. And I don't mean to make it sound scary. Like there are different points in the trip. Our tour guide, Lynn, can tell you about this at our meeting in September. But like, if you cancel in November versus canceling in February, it changes kind of the calculus of what deposits have we paid or what money has already gone out. And so it just all is kind of it's not hard and fast. It all changes constantly. As anybody who's done a big trip like this knows, this is kind of like our New York trip, but hopefully better weather. So better weather and maybe less earthquakes. So that's it for me, folks. This is the whole presentation you've now seen. We've gone through everything, a little bit of everything. I'm super excited that you came to hang out with me today. Again, my name is Mr. Pugh. My email, j.pugh@bonita.k12.ca.us, is the best way to get a hold of me. There is a phone number here. Best of luck if you can get me. I doubt you will because I am never in my office long enough to actually answer a phone. I'm between two campuses and share with so many people. So it just really is really difficult. But I just wanted to kind of leave this open now. If anybody has any questions, I'll stay here with the chat open for another, couple minutes. You can drop your questions in the chat and just let me know. So shoot me some questions you might have. Otherwise, I'll see you later, and you'll be able to review this recording later. I figured out how to fix the chat. Now I can type. All right. Well, seeing no questions really, I'm going to stop the recording and just say thank you all for hanging out here till the end. I'm really excited for this next year and can't wait to experience it. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll catch you later. All right. All right. Looking at some other questions. Thank you so much. Is there financial assistance for the Hawaii trip? So the Hawaii trip, because it's such a big trip, there is not as much available. I can offer some of the bingo stuff, of course, bingo nights, but we again just don't have as much money to throw around anymore. But I will be sending out the financial help paperwork, as it were. If you want some, you can request it and have your student come pick it up or what have you. And so yeah, you just let me know and we can get something for you. Okay. Yeah. Um, then have a great night. Oh, thank you, everyone. And Lisa, your backyard looks so cozy. I like the tile or the, oh, it's not tile, it's a shower curtain. I think it's a shower curtain or something. Looks nice. Alrighty, folks. Seeing no other questions, I guess we'll kind of close us out, okay? Oh, I thought I had stopped sharing. I hadn't stopped sharing. Now I will.